No.
I'd like to welcome everyone to this month's monthly memorial service, Shotsuki Hoyo. My name is Kathy Mikuni, and I'll be chairing the service, but I'd like to thank all those people who have made this service possible: Reverend Gibbs, our organist, Kathy Kumagai, the flowers, which are done by Kyoko Okura Gibbs, and the streaming of the service, which is done by Alan Goto and Kathy Kumagai. On the first Sunday of each month, we observe the monthly memorial service, Shotsuki Hoyo, in honor of those members of our Buddhist community who have passed away during the respective month in which this service is being held. Sensei will now read the names of those loved ones who passed away in the month of September, in whose memory this morning's service is being conducted. For those of you observing today's service in recognition of family members or friends who have passed away, please come forward as Sensei reads the name of your departed loved one to offer incense in their honor.
Thank you, Kathy. We will be reading the names of those we know who have passed away in the month of September. If you lost someone in September and they're not on our list yet, just let us know. We'll be happy to add the name. There is no charge for this. The September Shotsuki Hoyo members. Firstly, Alita Latsu, Fujimoto Hajime, Furumoto Yasu, Goto Choichi, Goto Kyoichi, Hamaguchi Hachizo, Hamano Kimi, Hayashi Kyoko, Higashioka Shigeru, Hirose Shigeru, Inoue Mr. Kaoru, Ito Frank, Kawamoto Kunitaro, Kawamoto Masano, Kawamoto Tazuko, Kawashima Fumi, Kobuke Yutaka, Kubo Kiyomasa, Kuramoto Kiku, Masumoto Hachitaro, Matsumoto Yaemon, Mentz Geraldine, Mito Shika, Mitsuoka George, Morioka Sarayo, Muraki Rikyo, Nagatani Shigeru, Naito Imakichi, Nishida Miki, Nishikawa Mutsue, Ogura Tomie, Okida Mariko, Okuno Matsu, Omura Seki, Onishi Kita, Onishi Yoshisuke Onishi, Otake Takeo, Oyama Maju, Oyama Mitomu, Sakamoto Isaburo, Soga Noriko, Sogi Atsuye, Sugimoto Hatsujiro, Takayama Mito, Takayama Otomatsu, Takayama Tomi, Tanabe Violet, Teraoka Yumi, Teshima Isamu, Toimoto Itsuyo, Tsuchimoto Tsuneo, Tsuchimoto Tsuneo Tsuchiya Inosuke, Tsuchiya Tomizo, Ueno Kimi, Wakasa, Kyozo, Yamada Sato, Yamada Tokutaro, Yamaoka Rai, Yamasaki Nao, Yamashita Kihei, Yamazoe Mine, Yokoyama Kiyomi, Yokoyama Sakaye, Yujiri Tokuo. So these are the members that we know have passed in September. If any of these were your family or friends, I'm sorry for your loss. No.
Thank you, Sensei, for reading the names and honoring those who have passed away in this month. If the Sangha could please rise for a meditative, reflective reading. Hard is the rock, soft the water, yet water wears away the rock. There is an old saying that if there is a will, even the attainment of Buddhahood is possible. No matter how little faith one possesses, if he listens earnestly to the teachings, he will attain faith through the compassion of the Buddha. Therefore, it is important that one listen earnestly to the teachings. Renyo Shonin. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Could you please be seated? And Sensei will be doing the sutra chanting. It is Sambutsuge in your service book, page 33. Sambutsuge.
Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, and we'll go right into the Sambutsuge this time as soon as I announce it. Again, page 33, I believe Kathy reminded us, in your service book. I have a xerographic copy. Busatsu Daimuryo Jukyo Sanbutsuge Kogengigi Ijin Mugoku Nyode Enmyo Muyo Tosya Nichigatmani Shuko Enyo Kaishtonpe Yunyaku Jumoku Yolai Yogen Shosei Murin Shogaku Daion Toru Jipo Taimon Shojin Tamai Chie Itoku Muryo Shusho Keiu Jintai Zennen Shobuten Hokai Ujin Jinno Kungung Aitai Mumyo Yokunu Seison Yomu Ninno Shishi Jintoku Muryo Kukun Kodai Chie Jinmyo Tomyo Iso Shinno Daisen Ganga Sabuten Taisho O Kado Shoji Nihuge Daten Fute Joi Kainin Shojin Nyole Sammai Chie Ijo Kote Tokubuten Fugyo Shigan Ithai Kuku Isa Dayan Keshi Ubuten Yakusen Nokuman Muryo Daisho Shunyong Oja Kuyo Ithai Shito Shobuten Kunyo Gudo Kensho Hungyaku Hinyo Goja 소붓 세카이 우후하게 무슈tatno komyo shisho henshi shokoku yode shojin ijin anryo ryogata butn kokudo kokunyo naion nimu toso gato aimin dodaten ithai jippo raisho shineten shoujo ito ga kokeraku annon kobuten shinmyo vega shinsho otsugan no hi rikisho shoyoku jippo seison shie muge joryo shison chiga shingyo keiryo shinshi shoku dokuchu kagyo shojin ninju ahuke. Namandabu, 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 namandabu. Ganniya shikudoku, yodo sei ithai, don bodai shin onyo. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Sensei. Could the Sangha please rise for Gatha? And it'll be Namo Amida Butsu on page 136 in your service book. I want to double check that. 136. Yes, it is. And if you could remain standing after the Gatha for Sensei to lead us in the golden chain, which is on page 8. Thank you. Please remain standing, and Sensei will lead us in the golden chain on page 8.
If you will, please join me. The golden chain. I have a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around
Around the world, I will keep my link bright and strong. May I be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. May I think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong. May we all in perfect peace. Namo Buddhist. Namo Buddhist. If you could please be seated. Sensei will now give his Dharma message, and the theme today is No Fault Religion. And just before Sensei gives his message, everyone who's in Dharma school, there's a special event for you in the gym. So you are excused now, and we'll join you later in the gym to join in the festivities.
Yeah, we'll join you. We'll enjoy being with you over there, but you can go right now. And people who are past the age of 30 or more than 4'7", they have to stay. Well, good morning again. Sorry, I drifted on I missed my line on the chanting. I should know better. You know, in our stream of tradition with Buddhist stuff, you either memorize it or you don't. And there's stuff that is forbidden to memorize. You are forbidden to memorize the Gobunsho. It is a dramatic reading. It's a formal reading. You're supposed to read it. But this stuff I'm supposed to memorize. It's when you're reading and then you start just doing from memory, and then, whoa, where was I? So, sorry, we're not supposed to do that. Now, I do, as Kathy has already thanked some folks, but I want to also thank Kathy Mikuni for being our chairperson today, Kathy Kumagai for playing organ and helping with tech support, and Alan Goto, our chief tech person and our videographer today. We really appreciate your work. Thank you. It's been 4 weeks since we met together for a service here. My family and I were on vacation for a week, and then we all took a vacation, including the volunteers here, and then there was the national level Buddhist celebration of our 125th year as a denomination in this country, the Buddhist Churches of America 125th birthday in San Francisco, and that was immediately preceded by the minister's study session in Berkeley, where I was for 2 days. Now, those study sessions were interesting. We had some lectures by Reverend David Matsumoto, and we're just a very preliminary way of looking at how to talk about disabilities. That we want to avoid using the wrong language, and it's in transition, and nobody knows. It's delicate, just like gender issues. The important thing is sincerity, to be open, accepting, and to try to be sincere, because you may say the wrong thing, you know, and one thing you mentioned, a statistic I hadn't thought of, but why, we're going to try to get away from that term disability because it has a bit of a heavy judgmental term, but how do people who are challenged in these ways that we call disabled, how many people do you think there are like that, you know? And he's looked into this. You may know Reverend Matsumoto has a son who has Down syndrome. So he's looked into this rather deeply. And worldwide, 16% of the human race is suffering from a major disability. 16% of us. That's 1.3 billion people. There are 1.3 billion people who would qualify as disabled. So it's important. It affects a lot of people, and it's hard to use the right words, you know. I have a friend who has reasonably serious cerebral palsy, and she likes the term differently abled. We're all differently abled. And it's good up to a point. The problem is it's a bit of a euphemism, and it's a bit of overlooks the suffering that some people are going through. Yeah, we're differently abled, you know. I can't fly, and I can't do math, and my quadriplegic friend can't go to the bathroom by herself. You know, it's not the same. It's not the same. So that phrase is still current. It's still considered a polite usage, differently abled. But we're looking for some new way to speak, because that's a little bit of a euphemism. That's kind of missing something important to speak that way. But what are you going to do? You don't want to be condescending. You don't want to be euphemistic. And we're still kind of struggling with this issue. Now, Kathy told you the title of this talk is No Fault Religion, but I won't talk much about that. That happens, you know. Reverend Gerald Sakamoto gave a seminar on transformation in Portland one time. He never mentioned the word transformation. We had it published all over. So I'm doing the same thing to you. No fault religion just means don't assign fault. What good does it do to assign fault? People are agents. They do things. We've got to limit some people because they do things that are dangerous. But why say that person is bad and this person is good? You know, Buddhism consistently in almost every school discourages you from judging others. Don't concentrate on the faults of others. Don't look at their faults. Don't say it's a fault. But we don't necessarily discourage you from looking at your own faults. And I'm saying don't call them faults. If you made a mistake, do something different next time. If something isn't good, change it. Just don't even assign fault to yourself. It doesn't do any good to run people down. Doesn't do any good to run yourself down. Am I partly at fault for all the mistakes I've made in life? Is there fault? Again, there's agency and context. We do act, and we do act in conditions that we must deal with. Forces are at work that we are acting within, which we must be aware of. But it just doesn't do any particular good to assign blame. Life is difficult for all of us, for humans and other animals. Sometimes we act rather well, and studying the Buddha Dharma, participating in these services, can help us to act better more often. That's why we have pieces like the golden chain. We want to say kind and beautiful words as best we can. Nonetheless, we live in a savage place, planet Earth. And blaming others or ourselves for sometimes making it worse is doltish, silly, and beside the point. We must act in the world. We are agents. We are living creatures who initiate maneuvers, who take steps. You gotta live. We say that we do our best, but that may even not be so important as we think it is. No one likes to be quoting 50-year-old rock songs, but there's an old Neil Young song where he's talking about this drug deal that went bad in somewhere, and this guy's brother got killed. And his remark is, he tried to do his best, but he could not. He could not. That's interesting to me. I think it's true. I think when people don't do their best, sometimes they could not. They could not. People are putting judgments on you. You should do this. You know, I tried to do that. That day, I couldn't. When Thich Nhat Hanh and the Dalai Lama have both said this thing they heard somewhere, which is, it doesn't cost anything to be kind. There's a wonderful cartoon on the internet with these two women in early middle age speaking to one another, and the one says to her friend, says, it doesn't cost anything to be kind. And the other woman's response is, surely, some days it costs me my sanity to be kind. And that's true. When people are really dumping on you, don't say, well, I'll be kind to him. No, back away, get away. You can't always do it. I wish we could, but we try. We try to do our best, but sometimes we cannot. Now, this is our monthly Shotsuki Hoyo service, our memorial service for those who passed away in the month of September. And if you lost someone close to you in the month of September, please accept my sincere condolences. I am sorry for your loss. I think September is the only month of the year that I've not lost a family member. I've lost friends in September. One of them, Kaoru Inoue. I read his name on that list. I knew Kaoru well when I was at Nishi. But I haven't lost a family member in September yet. Again, if you've lost friends and family this month, I'm very sorry for your loss. None of us want to be separated by those we love. None of us want to be separated by those we care for by death, that's for sure. Shakyamuni Buddha listed as being separated by death as one of the main ways in which human beings suffer, one of the main causes of suffering. Some losses are easier to bear than when someone you love dies. We have lots of losses in this world, and some we can be brave about, or strong, or stoic. Let me reference a Japanese colloquialism. This was sent to me by Norman Noji, so I don't know who translated it, but this sounds pretty close to what would be an original. A Japanese colloquialism is, if you feel like you're losing everything, remember, trees lose their leaves every year, and they still stand tall and wait for better days to come. That's kind of nice. Trees lose their leaves every year, but they still stand tall and wait for better days to come. That's a nice saying, you know, and it works for some things, you know. Back in 2014, while I was getting ready to move down here, I threw away all of my audio cassettes. I no longer have a copy of Golden Earring doing Danger Zone. You know? Somehow I'll get by. You know, I did not like to do them, but we're moving, I got all this stuff. They don't even make cassettes anymore, right? What am I going to do with them? So I threw them all away. I can live with that. Throwing away theme-taped music cassettes was like the leaves falling off the trees in the fall. I could let them go. New ones will come in the spring, not cassettes. I don't know what they're going to be now. I still have a CD player. I don't know what the other stuff is. When my father died, it wasn't like throwing away my cassettes. It was like a major branch on the tree was torn off violently. When my mother died, it was like the tree was cut down and sliced into toothpicks. You know, it wasn't like, well, let the leaves go and I'll just persevere strong and wait for better days. You can't do that with death. It's really bad. It's really bad that people die, the people we love die. It really is awful. Some attachments can be let go of. In 2003, a friend of mine named Christo gave me a cassette of the Young Rascals' greatest hits. That was one of those cassettes I threw away. It reminded me that when I used to have that on a vinyl disc, and in 1966 I was listening to the Young Rascals on vinyl disc, and my mother walked through the room, and it was the song, I Ain't Gonna Eat Out My Heart Anymore. And there's a point where the singer, Eddie, goes, "You're gonna lose the best thing you ever had." My mother walks through the room and looks at the record player and goes, "Him?" 1 for Mom, 0 for the Young Rascals, you know. But I liked them after a fashion. When I was 16, I liked them. And I didn't want to throw away the cassette, but, you know, it was a lot like the leaves falling off the tree. There go the Young Rascals, sorry. I ain't gonna eat out my heart anymore about it. So I can let go of my recorded tapes and my vinyl discs, but I cannot simply let go of my deceased parents, my uncles and aunties, my friends who've passed before me. I can't just let go of them like a tree sheds its leaves, and I don't expect you to be able to do that either. People who have never lost a boyfriend, a wife, a parent, may not be so troubled by the matter of death yet, but they should be. There's a slow train coming, and for some of us, it may well be just around the bend. When that train arrives for someone you know well, you will be reminded that your train to the next life could arrive soon, sooner than you had planned, sooner than we'd been thinking. When death arrives for someone you really care about and whose company you really enjoyed, it is unacceptable. The feeling is, no, 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 it just can't be. That refusal at an emotional level to accept the death of a mother, a father, a life partner, a child, it's not just attachment. There is a wisdom in us that says, this just can't be. It can't be like this. It can't be death and separation forever. There has to be more. There's a wisdom which is not exclusively Buddhist, which suspects that somehow all is one. We've been touched by this vision of life as one inseparable, mutually interpenetrating reality through our contact with Buddhist tradition, most of us. Most of us have been given this hopeful view of life by the Buddha Dharma, by Buddhism. Others have been led to suspect a unity behind appearances by Western philosophy. This is taught by Parmenides and Spinoza and Hegel. There's only one reality, we're all it. Most streams of Hinduism teach a variety of universal unity. Some literature and some cinema nurture this sense of an inclusive universal oneness in us. So it's not just foolish attachment that leads us to feel that we will see them again. It is a wisdom in us, wherever it came from. It's a deep insight that makes us feel that our connection with our deceased mother, for example, is real and alive. The connection is real and alive, and that somehow we will communicate with her again and enjoy her company. The classic expression in Jodo Shinshu tradition of this feeling is Isa's poem, haiku. Tsuyu no yo nagara, tsuyu no yo wa, tsuyu no yo nagara, sorry nagara. One more time in Japanese. Tsuyu no yo wa, tsuyu no yo nagara, sorry nagara. In my English translation, that would be, the world is like a disappearing drop of dew. I know it's a dewdrop world, but still. That still is very deep. Sorry, Nagara, or still, even so. Where do you go after the even so? Esau wants you to think about that. He's not going to tell you. There is hope somehow that we will see them again. This is my message. We try to do our best, but sometimes we cannot. We try to do well in this world, but we mess up sometimes. You're going to get mad at yourself? Call yourself a dolt? No, we do that. Everybody does that. No fault. No point in assigning fault. Just change directions if harm is coming. Just move the other way. No point in saying, you're at fault, you did wrong. Who knows? There's so many factors in the background of our lives. Who knows who the good people are? We're all trying to do our best. Sometimes we cannot. The other part of the message is that people we lose who we love, people we lose who we are deeply connected to, this loss is awful, but there is hope that we will see them again. We will one day be reunited with those we love in a realm of purity and goodness, and from that platform, we will be enabled to help people, animals, living beings all across this universe. This day will come. For now, we say the Buddha's name, we try to do our best, and if our friend cannot, we don't say they're at fault. If you cannot, don't tell yourself you're at fault. Just say, oh, well, I did that, I should have done the opposite. Next time I'm doing the opposite, you know. There is hope for the future. We will see everyone we've lost in the great, interpenetrating, inseparable oneness of this life when that illumination finally comes full on. And that illumination of enlightenment will finally, for each of us, come full on. That's the message for today. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I hope to see you again next week.
Thank you, Sensei, for a wonderful message to remind ourselves to really kind of look forward and forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we make. So, if everyone could rise for the final reflective reading. And today happens to be the closing ceremonies for the Paris Paralympics, as Sensei touched on, talking about, disability. And I'm going to quote Ezra Freck from Team USA, who is a 19-year-old who won 2 golds in the Paralympics, in the high jump and the 100-meter. Ezra Freck spoke of his decision to change perceptions of disability. I believe I was put here on this earth to normalize disability, change perceptions about what is possible as an amputee, winning back-to-back golds, leading the Paralympic movement until 2028. He's going to be a student at USC this fall. So, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much. Could you please be seated? The one announcement I'm going to make is that in the gym, we're having an event for the kids, but we want everyone to join us there. There will be definitely some light refreshments. So, and also it's going to be fun to see what they're doing. So please join us in the gym after the service. Announcements?
Hi, I'm Kathy Kumagai. On September 21st, we also have a fundraiser coming up for the Buddhist Women's Association. We are one of the, I think, about 20 charities that will be beneficiaries of the Citadel Outlet Shopping Extravaganza. And when you purchase a ticket, tickets are $40. $25 comes back to our BWA. It's a one-day event, September 21st, 9 to 9. And what do you get for $40? Well, you get a catered lunch. You get, if you're over 21, you get wine tasting. There's 2 raffle tickets. Otherwise, if you buy it there, it's $5 each. They raffle off $25 gift cards for the outlets and for the stores there. 2 tickets for the grand prize drawing. And then you get exclusive discounts, good only on that day, for some of the stores at the Citadel, including what kind of stores? Like Crocs, DKNY, ASICS, Loft, Gap, New Balance, Guess, Boss, Watch Station, Old Navy, Kipling, Coach. And for example, at Coach you get, and this is only for people who have the shopping extravaganza wristbands, you get $20 off your purchase of $150 at Coach outlets. And the longest line I saw last year was for Crocs, and it's $25 off your purchase of $100 or more. So you get the benefits of that $40 tickets really fast. Fun day. You get to see, there'll be 4 of us volunteers working. I'm working the wine tasting at the end. And if you want to purchase at citadeloutlets.com, you select your own charity. Our charity name is Buddhist Women's of Pasadena Buddhist Temple. Anyway, look for Buddhist Women's. It's alphabetical list. We're under the B's. So really encourage you. You can buy it, and you buy it online. And I think that, and the 22nd, which Reverend Gibbs will probably talk about, is Ohigan. Reverend Adams is coming. For Henry Adams from San Mateo. Great. He's really fun to listen to. So we encourage everybody to come and hear him.
And remember, Ohigan, we always have light refreshments afterwards. So come eat.
That's right, yeah, I won't go any length, but yeah, Henry Adams very highly thought of from the, what's the city? What city is he at? San Mateo. San Mateo Buddhist Temple. Yeah, your home temple, that's why I knew, yeah. And he's fluent in Japanese, but we're just going to speak in English, because I'm sorry, Mrs. Yamasaki, but you're the only one who would understand him if he spoke in Japanese. But he's a very, very fine speaker. We're looking forward to that on the 22nd, and there'll be a little snack after the service. We'll also have a service next week, and I will be here. And classes are back as usual, so you can look that up on your newsletter or on the internet. But it means I'll be here for Tai Chi Tuesday and Thursday at 1 for sure. Hope to see some of you there.
Did we cover everything? Well, thank you very much, everyone, for attending the service. I'll meet you in the gym. I think it's going to be fun to watch the kids do their activities, but also we get a chance to join them in some of the snacks that they have. Okay? Thank you again for coming to service. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that. I always go off script.